Okay, this is day 2. We are at Neocon 2013. We're in the Mohawk showroom, and I am with Frank Andrews.
Yes, how are you? Good to see you, Dave.
I love your tie.
Thank you. Thank you. Got to make a statement at Neocon. It's all about making a statement.
I guess it is, and I guess people come in here because they expect Mohawk to do something new and interesting, I guess.
That's right. I mean, that's the expectation, I think, for every manufacturer. You've got 2-3 days to really make an impression. It's, of course, we want to show our new styles that we've got coming out, the things that we think are really going to make a difference for designers going forward. But more than anything, there's so many people, so many impressions that designers are having made upon them when they come here. The biggest thing you want to do is just leave with an impression. So when they think, hey, what do I think of Mohawk? They're going away, hey, I want to go back and ask more about the products they have.
Talk about the people that come. Obviously, designers, specifiers come here. Do they have a job on their plate when they come here, do you think? Or do a lot of them just want to see what's new and see what Mohawk is doing this year?
I think it's some of both, Dave. I mean, certainly, I've met with many people that have come in and they come and say, oh, I've got a project right now. This product is going to be perfect for. Certainly you have that. But I think it is probably as much the latter as well, is that, you're coming here to get inspiration as well. So that the idea is that for your next job and the job after that, hey, what was an idea that I saw at Neocon that I can have in my back pocket when that opportunity presents itself.
And to make sure that they leave with the idea that when and if this project comes up, Mohawk's going to be the outfit I'm going to
Absolutely, we certainly hope so.
Now talk about, lots of new things, lots of attention-getting devices around here. Talk about what's new and hot and how that came to pass.
Well, at least for Mohawk specifically, our real goal this year was to show that a lot of people think of Mohawk as very traditional in our styling and in terms of the history that we've had. We really wanted to make a statement that we can push the envelope of design as well, that we can be cutting edge of design, we can be new, vibrant, and fresh. That was certainly our goal this year, and I think from the feedback we've gotten, that's what we've tried to do. So I think certainly probably any manufacturer, when they're coming in, they think of what their goals are for the year, and then how are you going to leave that impression that you're accomplishing that.
So talk about how you chose to do that this year.
A lot of our stuff is centered around color and also around bringing in influences that are targeted towards that young and vibrant design community. So the products that we've got are pulling from things that resonate with them. Street art, our theme being street thread. That's how we came up with that, to show, when we walk around and show you the products, you're going to see very vibrant colors, very fresh color, knowing that some of them, may not use it on a whole floor, but it can certainly use, in your specific project, really make it your own and make a statement with it.
I've heard in the past when the economy is booming and things are looking up, people look for more color or more dramatic style and so on, and when things are not so good, maybe they're going the other way and keep it close to the vest. Is that a sign, you suppose? Is this an economic indicator that people are anxious to see that?
I think so. That's what we have heard anyway. When the words that we were hearing maybe 2 years ago were colors that expressed hope, maybe. And after this downside, you were seeing a lot of those were the palettes that we were hearing a lot about. Now you're hearing more about colors about optimism. And so yes, people wanting to be fresh and be forward thinking. So I think absolutely it's an indicator, at least maybe not the dollars yet, but people that are expecting those dollars to start showing up in the projects and the impact and the emotional statement they're trying to make around that.
What market segments are you seeing the most, or in what market segments are you seeing the most activity?
Certainly in the corporate, that's where most of the growth is going on now. Less now than maybe a few years ago from the institutional side, like education and those kinds of things, as budgets there have tightened up. But corporate and all the different price points are certainly where we're seeing that. And I know it's not as much of a focus at this show, but hospitality as well has been growing substantially. So between those areas internationally, we're seeing optimism in all the different segments, but primarily in corporate when you're talking about core commercial.
Now, modular has been growing like crazy over the last several years. It continues to grow, finding itself in new markets where really it hadn't been considered in the past. What do you see ahead for modular?
Well, the thing about modular, the reason, in order to be able to look forward in where modular is going, you really have to understand why modular has come to where it is, why it is becoming such an important thing. It first started out, as we know, from the aspect of just convenience, from raised floors, things like that, and also ability to be able to replace specific pieces. Now it's become more of a design element, whereas before, with broadloom goods, you would roll it out and that became your floor. So you had to think of it as designing your floor with a very large brush, if you will. Now with tile, you can take a more pixelated view of your floor. So you can take, okay, I want a color there, and you can take design your floor much more so than you could before. So that's where we see the excitement around it. What most designers are thinking about, it's less about the utilitarian aspect of it anymore. It's now more about, hey, I can do things with design that I never could do before.
Talk about that. That brings up another question. I've seen some of these most unique designs, and I can't imagine an installer is inspired enough to do that. How does that, I mean, nothing against installers, but I guess there's a lot of people you have to keep happy, I suppose. How do you get from here to there in terms of these various designs?
Well, they're two different, I would say they're two different things with that. One is it certainly puts... It puts more of the responsibility on the designers to make sure they're having very specific discussions with that installer to make sure that their design vision is being read to the specific square on the floor. That's from talking to installers. That's sometimes where their frustrations are, that what you see on the piece of paper, it doesn't tell the whole story about what the designer is anticipating. So there's that aspect of it. But the other piece of it, too, from a mill perspective, as we're giving you a designer these tools to work with, it's on us as well to give them the tools that they can take their design vision, be able to create it, and then transfer that to something an installer can use. And, even this year with Mohawk, we had a Neocon award this year for Best of Neocon award for our Design Flex Visualizer, which actually does just that. It takes some of the products now that allow a designer to really do some cool things with color, gradation, and transition, but be able to not only visualize it themselves, put it together how they want it, but now create a material list and design that an installer can say, okay, I know what I need, and this is how I want it laid in. So it
really closes the loop.
It closes the loop, absolutely.
I was wondering how they did that.
Yeah.
Frank, can you show us some of the new product?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to hand you this, and I'll follow you around with the camera.
Okay, perfect. This year's theme for our Mohawk showroom is street thread, taking off a play on the words for street cred. And where it comes from is in today's workplace, how we're not working in a confined space anymore. We're spending more and more time outside of our workspace, working collaboratively out on the street. And so this year we have three different things that we're bringing into our showroom. Collaboration with street art, which is one of the ones you'll see behind me here. Also, we'll show you street threads here in a moment, bringing in the influences of streetwear. And then lastly, for modern architecture, with some of our woven collections that we've just launched. The one that you see behind me here is actually from an artist from New York, from Akash Nialani. He is a graffiti artist that actually works in the medium of tape. And so what you see here is a piece that he came in and installed, and we also have it at our Kinsey Street exit here at Neocon as well for the show. But what he's done is he creates these views here, these isometric views that create an almost three-dimensional view. Just it's temporary art made out of duct tape. So we've taken the inspiration from his products, and you can see on the floor are some of the styles that we have here that bring in these very geometric looks, and then some additional ones as well that bring in some more diagonals. The bigger thing here, as we talked about earlier, in some of the influences that are coming that we're trying to show here in Mohawk, are the influence of the really bright colors as well, the real optimistic colors. So you'll see in the color lines that we're offering here, Not only very subtle backgrounds, very usable background colors, but with some very forward colors that you'll see to accent it and bring out that optimism that we had talked about earlier.